intermittent fasting and a ketogenic diet. Those are two different topics, but interrelated. So I'm going to explain each one and how they work together and what they do and what's the reason for all of these things. So let's start with intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is a form of fasting that you do in a 24-hour period where you don't eat anything for either 18 hours or 16 hours or 14 hours. Which means if you don't eat for 18 hours, you can eat, you have a window of eating. That means in the 6 hours, you can eat anything. And in the 18 hours, you eat nothing. So something happens to the body when you do this. Now, when you start fasting, it could be difficult. You might have to do 10 hours of eating and 14 hours of fasting. Then you can gradually bring it down to 8 hours of eating and 16 hours of fasting, and then you can become a bit more bold and more brave. You can do 6 hours of eating and 18 hours of fasting, and some people go down to 4 hours of eating and 20 hours of fasting. Up to you, but you can take it step by step by doing this. So why intermittent fasting? So in that period that you got, eat anything. Now, eat anything doesn't mean to eat junk as well. So we will talk about this next thing. But here you can eat anything but eat healthy. I will explain what is meant by healthy. But here you can eat anything at that time. But after that, no more eating. So let's say an example, you do 10 hours of eating and 14 hours of fasting. Normally you sleep for 8 hours. So you have your 8 hours of sleeping, which is fasting. And then you've got left another 6 hours. So you can eat maybe in the morning after you wake up, or you wait for 6 hours, don't eat, or you wait for 3 hours and eat. And then 3 hours before sleeping, you don't eat. And as you improve on your fasting, 8 hours of eating and 16 hours of fasting. 16 hours means 8 hours of sleeping, and you've got 8 hours of fasting. You can be fasting for 4 hours in the morning, and 4 hours before you sleep, you fast. You don't eat anything 4 hours before sleeping, so that you have that period. So you can decide which way to go about it. Now, what is the reason? What happens when you eat and what happens when you fast? When you're eating, your insulin levels go up because it triggers insulin. So when you eat proteins, you eat sugar, you eat glucose, fruits, starches, insulin goes up. What happens with insulin? When insulin goes up, testosterone levels go down. The growth hormones go down. Glucagon goes down. Glucagon is a hormone which helps activate fat burning. So there's no fat burning. Fat burning comes to zero. And glucose levels are higher, which triggers insulin. So if you eat at any time and you don't fast, it means you have constant levels of insulin and testosterone levels go down, growth hormones go down, glucagon go down, you build up more fat and there's no fat burning. So you can put on more weight because there's no fasting. So now you can see that if you just eat and you have this during that time, then it stays like that. Now, when you are fasting, there's no insulin. So when the insulin levels drops, because there's no eating, so the insulin, there's nothing to carry in terms of glucose for production of energy, testosterone levels go up. Testosterone is a building hormone. It builds muscles. It's also part of the sex hormones for men. So that goes up. Growth hormone goes up. So when you're doing muscle building and cell building, you're doing wound healing and all that, you need growth hormones. So the growth hormones go higher. Now, glucagon goes higher as well. So which means that starts helping with fat burning. It facilitates fat burning. So if you've got fat and too much fat, the fat will now be called out for burning. Now, during fasting, fat will burn because during fasting, there's no glucose. So how does the body make energy? It needs energy from fat. So now the body starts to get triggered into releasing fat to burn it. And then when the fat gets released, it goes to the liver to make ketones, because fat cannot be used by the brain. Fat will not go through into the brain. So if the brain has got no glucose, when the body has got no glucose, you can get blackouts. So how does the body prevent the blackouts? It's now going to call for ketones. So the fat has to arrive at the liver makes ketones, and the ketones go to the brain, and that's the fuel for the brain, because, as I said, fat does not get to the brain. And another thing that happens during fasting is that you have it triggers autophagy. Autophagy is a process that the body does because it's got less food now. It goes and goes into scavenge the body and goes and finds dead cells, wrong cells, and even goes and eats up cancer cells. So if there's cancer, autophagy has a benefit of helping remove any forms of cancer cells or any form of cells that have been produced, or dead cells, and it reconstructs them and it reuses them for the body. It breaks it down and gets the body going again. So these are the benefits of fasting. So why intermittent fasting is you eat at that time and you have that period of fasting so that you get all these benefits. Now, if you've got brain fog, you have low energy levels, and you're always tired and exhausted. Why is that? It's because there's too much insulin. The insulin is trying to put the sugar into your cells, trying to create energy. There's not enough. You get tired. You get hungry. So it's like a roller coaster problem that you have. So the transition to intermittent fasting is going to be difficult. It's probably 2-3 days. You're going to have a lot of side effects happening, headaches, detoxing happening. So you have to be willing to go through that, because at the end of the day, what is happening is you're going to be eating less because your body is going to be breaking down the fat to turn it into energy. So that's when energy levels go up, brain fog goes away, because the fat is being burned. Now, if you want to have more fat burning during fasting, then you exercise. So the exercise now is getting the body active, and the body needs energy. So the exercise will call for the fat, because there is no glucose coming from your junk foods, from the bread, flour, grains that is coming from it. It's not, and your fat is becoming your source of energy. So these are the benefits of fasting. So you find you're not going to need to eat too much. You could probably eat 1 or 2 meals a day during that eating period, and then you don't need, and your body keeps going. So this is fasting. So now, what is a ketogenic diet? It's called ketogenic diet because you want the body to be provided nutrients to make ketones. And ketones is only made from fat. So during fasting, fat is called out. If there's no fasting, no fat gets called. It doesn't matter what ketogenic diet you do. If you don't combine it with fasting, the body will not make ketones and fat will not get burned. So what is a healthy ketogenic diet? To be able to do ketogenic diet, you have to have a healthy liver. Your liver has to be cleaned. When you clean the liver, and the liver cleans will be, I have a video which I've made on the liver, which you can go to the link and find out how to actually clean your liver. With a clean liver, the body will make ketones. With a fatty liver, there's no chances of making ketones. So it will keep you in this condition, and you're going to stay hungry for all the time, and tired, and have all these problems. So when you have a healthy liver, your hormones get balanced, your thyroids get balanced. The thyroids regulates your energy. So when your thyroids are back into balance, your energy levels are balanced, and your energy levels stay longer. So ketogenic diet means moderate protein, not very high proteins, moderate protein. What does a protein do? From protein, you get them from your meats, meats, fish, chicken, eggs. What it makes, it makes your muscles, it makes your skin, it makes your hormones, it makes your blood, it makes your brain, your hair, your nails. So you need protein, moderate protein. Low carbs, no bread, no flour, no grains, no rice. Low carbs, meaning you get it from your vegetables. All the vegetables, green vegetables especially, which is rich in potassium, and all the color vegetables as well, because that provides you with your A vitamins, your B vitamins, your C's, all of this, and they are low calories. Low calories meaning the carbs are not used for energy. It's going to call rather for the calories which comes from the fat. No sugar, no glucose, no fruits or fructose. The only fruits that you can take are berries, because berries have got low calories. They don't have a lot of glucose in it. Fats, essential fatty acids like your omega-3, your olive oils are necessary because your skin is made of omega-3. Your hormones are made of omega-3. Your hormones need omega-3. Moderate fats, coconut oil, butter is also okay. Cream, Milk, cream is okay. So that you need that oil, you need these moderate fats because your brain is made of fats, your cholesterol is made of fats. Why you need cholesterol? Because the cholesterol makes hormones. All your hormones come from cholesterol. So this is what is needed. So what you're doing is you're transferring the body from using sugar as a source of energy into fat, which turns into ketones as a source of energy. So the body can use fat as a source of energy, and it can also use ketones as a source of energy because the brain needs ketones. So this is what it's about. Now, if you need some help on foods, on nutrition, on junk foods, how to balance your acid alkaline, what foods are, I've got a chart on acid alkalines. I've got a list of junk foods that you need to know. There's certain foods, junk foods, which people believe are healthy foods, which are not, so you need to learn that. I also do 30 minutes free health consultations. You can book a consultation in the link below, and we can meet, and I will go over these things for you and show you a way and a map on how to transition to that so that you can help your body get better. Intermittent fasting is very good for diabetic people because it fixes the liver, it actually reduces the insulin, it reduces insulin resistance because during fasting, and it brings your body back and reverses all of these diabetic problems. So there's a chance for you to learn, and if you're not sure how to do it, I'm here. Book a consultation, it's free, and then we take it from there, and we'll get you back on track and in better health and bring you back to a young state and full of energy that you used to have, and reduced pains. These are all the benefits you can get out of intermittent fasting and doing it with a ketogenic diet. Thank you for listening. I look forward to meeting you and to work with you on getting your health back in order.